I put together a presentation. People asked me about this, so I finally did it. Every single creator I currently watch, only currently, parentheses, sorry retired dudes, the list would be too long. There are a lot of creators who still make stuff like here and there, but they are largely retired, so they're not going to be on this list. Okay? And there is another warning. The list contains little to no people that make content that is similar to mine. I love y'all, but I don't watch too much because I want my ideas to be mostly mine. So this, like, especially this refers to One Piece stuff. Because One Piece gets chapters weekly, and I don't really like, considering how much I like about One Piece theorizing, I don't really watch like a lot of people who theorize, right? So, I rarely watch Tekking's videos. Like, a few times I check in on Archer, a few times I check in on Liam. I watch a few of these people, but I try to avoid them as much as possible. Not because I don't like them, but because maybe I like them a little bit too much, because they make similar stuff, right? Also, if you upload infrequently, maybe I forgot. So, look, you might be the best, but if you haven't uploaded in like 12 months, I might have forgotten you exist. And if you upload again, I will remember you exist, and I will really, really like you, right? So, just a fair warning. Just a fair warning. All right. Now, I have categorized this in multiple categories. The first arc is the coffee arc. And here I primarily have 3 people. So James Hoffman is the first guy I really started for coffee stuff. And he has covered all the normal coffee stuff, and now he's moving into goofy coffee stuff. He still does like gear stuff, but like a lot of this is very goofy experiments, right? This is like the power creep in the coffee industry. Big recommend this guy, right? A very similar creator is Lance Hedrick. Lance also does a bunch of experiments. He's gotten in a lot of controversy because coffee people are very specific about how they do things. And when sometimes you say, look, maybe we should try something different, a lot of people get mad. But Lance is one of those people who are like, nope, we will try it. This right here, if you know, you know, the blind shaker, that was an incident. And finally, there's Morgan. I think I started watching her when she was like in the Barista Championship. I think this must have been like a year or so ago or something like that. She was taking part in the Barista Championship, and that's when I discovered her. So I watched a few of her videos as well. But like her content is slightly different from all the super experimentation stuff. This is just like goofs and gas with coffee, right? Like weird ways to drink coffee. I love this stuff though. James and Morgan are the goats. They are. They absolutely are. Lance is definitely the guy who is like the most obsessed with just seeing if these things are actually true, you know, because he has worked in the coffee industry for a long time himself, right? Like I think he is still consulting Breville on their machines. Like he's doing a lot of stuff in the actual coffee industry. But he's talking about the portafilters. He's talking about everything. He's just asking the question of, is it though? Is it though? Do we need to do this way? We need people like him. We need people like him. Coffee industry has power creep. It does. The coffee industry has seen incredible power creep, especially since COVID hit. Especially since COVID hit. That's when the big power creep went exponential. People started buying coffee gear at their own homes, and people just started getting obsessed with this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. But these 3 people, all of them recommend. Love these guys. They make videos all the time. I watch all the time, even when James eats a coffee ball. One of the most cursed videos he's ever done with the coffee balls. There it is. Put me on the egg coffee agenda. I watch a lot of what Morgan tries, and I'm just like, man, I wouldn't want to try that. A lot of this stuff is like, it's interesting seeing you make it. I don't know if I want it. I don't know if I want it. Can it be Goku? I think it can. I think if you showed Goku some people's coffee morning routine, I think Goku would just give up. I do. I think he'd just surrender. Why fight at that point? The coffee arc has concluded. Now we move into the chef arc. So this is all about food. I love cooking. I love everything to do with cooking, but as you might notice, just like I really like Lance's content, a lot of these channels are specifically about food science, right? So J. Kenji Lopez Alt, this is not an alt account, that's his actual name. This is one of the OGs in all food science. We need Appa Science because he just broke something. He is like one of the OG dudes who has written so many books that like most cooking techniques are based around nowadays. He originally, I don't remember where he started from, but this guy's great. This guy is great. Nowadays he's just uploading himself cooking at home, but he has like a very lengthy history. Like the food lab, so much of like cooking techniques are ripped straight out of this book. This one right here. It's a good book. It's a good book. So from that, we have Babish. Babish is right there. Yes, I also watch Babish. I didn't link Babish's channel because everyone knows Babish. Everyone also knows Joshua. Joshua Wiseman. Everyone knows these. Right? On a very similar note, we have What's Eating Dan. So this is a series on America's Test Kitchen. This is also about food science. Less so about cooking, more so understanding about how cooking works. Right? So, because when you understand how cooking works, you can make diabolical experiments. Diabolical experiments with food. You just have to know how it works. Like, if you mix together, like, I don't know, you know how to make a mayo, right? So, if you understand the process behind emulsion, well, how about you try emulsifying different things? You can get into diabolical food experiments. Another very good series. Another person who focuses a lot on food science is Adam Ragusa.
Hello.
Adam Ragusa nowadays has also kind of retired, but he is still uploading a lot, right? Like, he was way more active in the early days of his channel, but he is still uploading. And a lot of his original content was also about questioning what makes things work. Less so about the specific recipe, but just understanding the actual basics of cooking. That's what I love. Right now he's making a lot of recipes with his own little twists, but still his primary, I think, value out of his channel is also just about testing things and sort of just figuring out the technique rather than the actual recipe. Right? Another person who focuses way more on food science is Ethan. This guy is food science to an almost obsessive degree sometimes. He will like taste test salts, different kinds of salt, side by side to figure out whether or not it's worth it. Again, there has been power creep in the cooking department. So if you go back to his like OG uploads, a lot of them will be like, is expensive pasta actually better? He does like a blind taste test, figure out how they differ, yada yada yada. Right? Nowadays, there's been power creep. There's been power creep. Now we are talking about like specific kinds of spices, specific kind of rice. Power creep. It's power creep in the cooking department. Dude watches this much culinary content and still eats his one weird shake for breakfast every day. Why are you gonna call me out like that? Listen, my breakfast smoothie is an actual result of all of this cooking science, and I'm not even joking. I'm not even joking. The way my breakfast smoothie balances flavors with a little bit of xanthan gum to thicken it up, with like the precise amount of oats to like create, oh, it's so good. My breakfast smoothie is unmatched. Unmatched. Absolutely unmatched. So Ethan, another very cool guy. Aside from that, if you want like pure entertainment, oh, Internet Shaquille is another one. Internet Shaquille is like, he is like purposely blunt about the way he makes food, and in doing that he basically dispels a lot of myths and again tests a lot of outcomes that you might not normally think about. Another very good channel, Internet Shaquille. Very good. So in terms of pure entertainment, we have Claire. Claire used to be a part of what was the network? Basically there was a very ugly situation with the network she was in. And now she's doing her own stuff. She has her own channel, and she's basically keeping with what she did previously. I forget what the network was. There was a big network she was a part of. Regardless, Her channel is more so about making cooking fun, less so focusing on the actual science behind it. Even though some of her videos, like recreating these specific recipes, it does do a lot of food science. But the way it's presented is more so about, you know, like entertainment, not really making you able to recreate this one-to-one. Still a very fun channel to learn things on. Babish and Joshua, those we talked about, they are like, they also teach you technique, but the way they're presented is like less actual like hard science, you know. And everyone knows them. One of my favorites is actually Sorted Food. Sorted right here. If you want like my absolute single recommendation of what you should watch, the way I wrote it here is tournament arc in every single cooking video. Basically sums them up. They used to do like recipe videos. Nowadays, most of their videos is just like actually insane challenges. So this series right here is they are trying to make a single dish, but every single one of them only gets 10 minutes to cook in the same kitchen with no communication between them. So one guy comes in the kitchen, puts on like, I don't know, puts a chicken breast in the oven, whatever, right? The next guy comes in, he doesn't even know the oven is on. He has to check the oven. Sometimes he might forget about the oven. And whatever is in the oven is now coal. And then he tries doing something different. He like starts chopping stuff up. 10 minutes pass. The next guy walks in. He has no idea what he was doing. Obviously, cooking something in the space of 10 minutes and making a cohesive vision over the course of 40 minutes, very hard. Very entertaining to watch, though. Big recommend Sorted Food. Big recommend. They have a very extensive catalog of all kinds of challenges. All kinds of challenges. Big recommend. Big recommend. I think that's about it in the chef arc. All of these people, if you like cooking, all of these people are goated. You've got no diversity in your taste buds. Listen, my smoothie is the greatest smoothie to have ever existed. You've got no idea about my smoothie. My smoothie is the one smoothie. Okay, next up, science, technology, and stuff. So, I mean, I just yapped about VR, right? So Brad is on here 100%. Brad doesn't really upload a lot of videos anymore. I think he recently had a kid too, so he's a bit less active across the board. But he covers VR. I'm obsessed with VR. Of course I watch Brad. Of course I watch Brad. Validate, you coward. Listen, no need to make it personal. Brad is on here just for VR. I love VR. I can't wait for VR to pop off. Right? Big recommend, sadly, is Bradley. Next up, 2-minute papers. 2-minute papers nowadays covers a lot of AI stuff because I think his degree is in like, it's something to do with like light reflections or something like that. I'm pretty sure. So he covers a lot of AI stuff now, which is interesting. Interesting. Big recommend 2-minute papers. There's a video on Blender 4.4 as well. For science and stuff, I recommend Kyle Hill. I forgot to put Kyle Hill on here. Kyle Hill is not on this list. Kyle Hill should be on this list. I forgot about Kyle Hill. Yes, Kyle Hill makes very good videos about nuclear stuff. His entire series about nuclear reactors and stuff is big recommend. A lot of his videos focus particularly on nuclear reactors and like different why people are afraid of nuclear reactors, yada yada, right? All this stuff. Why these kinds of things arise, etc. Occasionally he talks about a lot of different stuff as well, of course, you know. But yeah. Then we have Sabine. Sabine is everyone's favorite, very grumpy scientist on the internet, who sometimes gets in a little bit of hot water because of the way she phrases things. And sometimes I do think she's a little bit too aggressive, but that's just how a lot of people here in Europe are. Happens. She covers a lot of stuff, everything from AI to like weird space stuff. So this is fun, very fun. Even if I don't understand a lot of it myself, very interesting regardless. Very interesting. Also seeing like the way she covers AI, because she was very skeptical about AI in the early days. So it's kind of interesting seeing how her mind is shifting on it as well. I don't watch like every single video she uploads because some of the stuff is just not really particularly like I don't know what most of this stuff means. I can put it on as background noise, but I've got no idea what this means. but it's interesting. There's another list in chat. All right, next up, we have Anton. Anton covers primarily space stuff, right? Again, a lot of this stuff I just listen to, and I'm just like, whoa, that's cool. I don't know what it means. Literally no idea what it means. I'm just sitting there like, damn, that's pretty cool. And that's where my entertainment ends. But yeah, he uploads all the time about space stuff, about weird space stuff that like that is mysterious. But he has a lot of these videos that is like what is this thing? This shouldn't exist, right? Which is like clickbaity ish, but he takes a very simple stance on this. This is just something that we're going to gather more data on, and we will understand it. Yeah, right now we don't know what it is. It shouldn't exist, but we will find out what it is. It's not aliens. Unfortunately. Not aliens. It's never aliens. It's never aliens. Here's another one. A recent claim about alien life on planet K2 18b, right? So he covers a lot of that stuff as well. Takes a very balanced perspective on it. Very good channel. Talks about all kinds of things. Moving on. MKBHD. Everyone knows MKBHD. Not a lot to talk about. Nowadays, he's getting a lot of early previews of tech that we don't really normally see. Like, he's one of the only people who has made videos on these augmented reality glasses right here, which so much fun. I love this stuff. I want to see more of this stuff. He's talked about, like, prosthetics nowadays. He does a bunch of content that a lot of people just don't get to do. He also had, like, the Disney thing, right? Of, like, the omnidirectional thing in Disney. Where is it? This one right here. The 360 treadmill. So this is another like interesting project that he's done. Big thumbs up for this. We don't talk about the way he drives though. Very bad situation there with old MKBHD. Very bad situation with how he drives. So shouldn't do that. It's very bad. AI Explained. AI Explained is a very good channel if you don't want to listen to nonsense. So this is, I have found the only channel who looks at the AI stuff actually happening and boils it down to what's important. And obviously there is a little bit of hype in this stuff because a lot of these papers are actually really exciting in terms of what they could potentially mean. But this guy cuts through the noise and actually just talks about what's actually there instead of this is the best thing ever, this will change the world, this is the best thing ever every other day, right? This DeepSeek documentary was really, really good. But every single one of his uploads is usually just like straight to the point. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Some people I feel like are not like huge fans of what he says because he's sometimes way more like reserved about the predictions people put out there. But I mean, I think it makes sense to have a skeptic, you know? Even though you are covering this from the perspective of I believe in this technology, I think it's going to go a long way. Still good to be skeptical. AI Explained, the GOAT. All right, next up. This is a channel I discovered recently. This is a dude who talks about archaeology. Found him very recently. Minuteman. That's him. I've binged a bunch of his videos. I think I found him through this Debunked series. Pretty sure this is where I found him. But he does great stuff. I don't see a lot of content on archaeology on YouTube. The way he covers it, very entertaining, very based. Very good. Very good. He debunks conspiracies pretty well. I'm pretty sure that's where I found out about him, yeah. And then I was like, wait, this guy does more than just debunk stuff. He actually talks about really interesting things as well. It's very unfortunate that like a lot of the debunking videos perform way better than just like regular videos about like interesting societies and stuff like that. But I mean, hey, if you do a little bit of one thing, a little bit of the other thing, it all works out, right? I love his channel. I love his channel. You're into archaeology? I am into everything. I just like knowing things. I just find things neat. I listened to this like thousands of years ago. There was this like certain kind of mountain that was split in half by the tectonic plates, and we found like bone structures on one end and on the other end, and we try to figure out how migrations of societies happen in between. This is just interesting. It's just neat. It's just interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's also good to just like have all of these arguments like you know, like at the back of your mind of why things work the way they do sometimes. But yeah, good channel, talks a lot about weird stuff, talks a lot about interesting stuff. Big recommend. Moving on. Linus. Linus Tech Tips. Again, one of the OGs of YouTube, not much else to say. He covers a lot of tech. I like tech. He covers a bunch of tech that most people don't really care about just because, like, he can, basically, right? Like, I watched one of his videos on the, what's it called? Is it Scorpion? I recently, this right here. So he made a video on this thing. And I haven't seen basically any other, like, big creator who I actually, like, sort of trust with a review cover these giant gaming seats. And I watched it. Because I've been thinking, like, what if I bought one of these things? It's like $6,000, but what if I actually just got this? Hypothetically. So I watched a video from Linus. This thing right here. Right? What if I bought this? I am here 24/7. So why not? Big thumbs up for Linus. I would sleep in this. I'm pretty sure if I actually bought this, I'm pretty sure my health would deteriorate even further than it has already. It wouldn't be healthy. I'll say that. At least the thing with it right now is that it's not very, like, they need to workshop this. It's still not there. It's a good all-in-one solution, but it's still not there. All right, next up we have Nile Red/Blue. Both of them. So this is a channel that is the epitome of, I will put this on my second monitor, and Nile, you just do your thing. You just do your thing, bro. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be peeking in. I'm gonna be listening. Just do your thing. I've got no idea how he even comes up with this stuff, how he is still alive, and generally anything about what he's doing. Literally nothing. And when I started listening, this is a spoiler. When I started listening to the Safety Third podcast, Nile is on there too. The way he talks about doing some of these things, I don't understand how he's alive. The chaotic chemist. He is such a diabolical chemist. Absolutely diabolical. It's crazy what he does. It's crazy what he does. And the fact that his videos are slowly drifting from, like, interesting but impossible chemistry to just like, hey, let's see if we can do this crazy thing and not die in the process is also... The evolution of his style is great. Also, I just remembered, I forgot to put in, what's his name? What's his name? The guy who covers health stuff. The guy who says, a man presents to the emergency room. A man was presented to the emergency room. Chubby Emu. That's his name. This one right here. Chubby Emu. This guy should be on here too. I watch his videos all the time. I do always forget his channel name though. Chubby Emu talks about weird health things that you should probably never even think about. Interesting channel though. A man presents to the emergency room with abdominal pain. It turns out he has 6.5 minutes to live. For he has eaten 75 chicken nuggets. Every day for 7 years. Love this guy. If you don't recognize him by the thumbnails and by the name, you will recognize him by his face. It's this guy. Is this guy. Everyone knows this guy. Everyone knows this guy. Alright, moving on. Dr. Becky. Dr. Becky also talks about space, but in ways that sometimes make a bit more sense to me. Dr. Becky is like a bit more low-key, insane space stuff than Anton, but most of the stuff she talks about, I'm still like, wow, that's neat. I don't know what that means though, but it's neat. It's neat. So that's Dr. Becky. More space stuff. Cold Fusion. Cold Fusion makes documentaries on all kinds of tech. His name is obviously based on cold fusion in fusion reactors, but he talks about all kinds of things from like from AI to Europe as a dominant tech sector that might be changing, by the way. Very interesting. Talks about planes. Talks about all kinds of things. Right? Very interesting. Also often talks about the society part of all of this. Right? Like with the Zuck thing, there was the thing about like the loneliness pandemic, all of that. Interesting stuff. Big recommend. Gamers Nexus. Gamers Nexus talks about strictly like PC stuff. If you're into PC gaming, if you're into PC, like building your own PC, you know about him. If you don't know about him, you know about the charts he has made. he has made a lot of charts, and those charts are usually everywhere on the internet. So Gamers Nexus, easy recommend. I love him. And finally, we have Fireship. Fireship, we talked about Brad already. Fireship does goofy programming and AI news in the most... Let's just click on a video of his.
I unlocked a new achievement in life, a midlife crisis, when I came to the realization that I've spent most of my adult life writing code, and most of that code is total garbage. It's code that never saw the light of a production server and was either abandoned, refactored, or left to rot in the graveyard of GitHub. As I reflected upon this further, I realized that many of the best practices, the hot game-changing frameworks, and the perfect folder structure...
So this is like if you had to make a format for a video for the Gen Z brain rot brain, this is the chemical purity of 99% version of this. I love his content so much. It feels like a stream of consciousness, but it all just makes sense. It feels like so low effort, but at the same time so precise and deliberate. You know? This is what true art looks like. It looks effortless, but there is so much thought behind this. Fireship is great. I love Fireship. Exerbia, I assume this is a YouTube channel. Exerbia, I don't know what this is. No, I don't know who this is. At least I don't think I do. Judging by the thumbnails, I might have seen one of these videos at some point, but I don't think I've watched them. This looks interesting though. Sleep is just death being shy. This looks like something I'd watch. I'm pretty sure I've watched this video. Where the last two, I'm pretty sure I've watched that. Or at least it's been on my recommended. Not 100%. So yeah, Fireship big recommend. That's all the science stuff. All of these people I watch regularly. Love their content. Alright, moving on. We have General Goofs and Gaffs. General Goofs and Gaffs, bro. Looking at this picture of Chris, it just gets me every time. So, Trash Taste, listen to them every single week. All of their separate channels. Watch all of. I mean, I guess like this is Connor's main channel, but he uploads so much more on like the second channel that it's kind of insane. Connor dog, right? I guess I should link this channel rather than like his main channel, just because of how much more content there is on this one. I watch all of them except a lot of what Garnt does, and there is one reason why. He covers a lot of things that I know I'm gonna be watching. That's a bit of a problem with me. Like this one, right? This is Witch Hat Atelier, or however you say it. I'm gonna watch this, so I'm never gonna watch this video because spoilers. I don't want to know anything about it. So it's a bit of a situation with Garnt. I used to watch him all the time, but now that I make my own stuff on the old YouTubes, not so much. Not so much. This stuff is great though. You're into science and tech more than art? I would say I've gotten more into tech than I have gotten into art when I started making YouTube videos, if that makes sense. Because I feel like I do so much in terms of talking about stuff on the interwebs, about like TV shows and stuff, that like I want to sort of separate up what I do in my own time versus what I do a lot of the time for YouTube, if that makes sense. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? I have. Imagine if Garnt made a video on Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Imagine. It's absolutely wild to me that he hasn't seen it. Absolutely wild to me. Moving on. Abroad in Japan. Abroad in Japan is one of my top 5 channels of all time. I started watching him way early. Like way in the past. I remember watching him when he announced the first cyclothon. I was already watching then. And I was so excited about him doing something akin to the first cyclothon. And obviously the first cyclothon was a bit of a dumpster fire. Like, the first cyclothon broke Chris. I mean, I call it a cyclothon. It was Journey Across Japan. Cyclothon is Connor's thing. This right here, this is where it all began. Cycling across Japan day 1. And I was watching him way earlier here. It might have been the North Korean missile. Might have been something before that. I've been watching him for years and years. Big recommend. Whenever I see an Attack on Titan video on YouTube, I just say that ain't Koroto. I don't see a lot of Attack on Titan videos, but to be fair, like, again, I sort of don't watch other Attack on Titan stuff just because I talk about Attack on Titan myself. And I mean, with the amount of videos I've made on Attack on Titan, it's kind of like, I'd rather just finish my own thing, and then, you know, do whatever I do next. This collection of videos, not videos, of pictures from the Trash Taste universe is excellent, though. When are we making a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood video? I have thought about, there are a few series that I've always wanted to make content on. Lord of the Rings is one of them. I love the Tolkien verse. Everything about it I love. But it feels like it is so well known, and there has been so much talk around it, that I feel like I don't really have anything to add to the conversation. If that makes sense. Especially with, like, Tolkien stuff. The same thing goes for, like, Full Metal Alchemist, but the Tolkien stuff is even more than that, right? It's like these super entrenched series that everyone knows. Like, if you're into anime, you know about Full Metal Alchemist, right? In the same way that I feel like everyone kind of knows about Death Note. Even though Death Note, there's surprisingly not a lot of content about Death Note on YouTube. It's just daunting to make a video for something like that. Ryan George? I think I've heard of the name. I've seen his videos. I don't watch him regularly, but I've seen his videos. I recognize his face. I've seen him. Next up, we have Moist Charlie. Everyone knows Moist Charlie. Not even going to talk about Moist Charlie. We've talked about his videos. Everyone knows Moist Charlie. Next up, this is someone who I discovered relatively recently. Inakyu. Something like that. So, she makes all kinds of commentary videos on anime. I think I found her through this video right here. The anime that inspired Avatar. Right? Because it was an Avatar thing. I decided to see what the origins of this was, just in case there was some kind of lore that I didn't know. But she makes all kinds of videos, and she did something really, really cool that I was thinking about yoinking. This was actually an idea that I entertained. Does this video have the thing? She has a setup with, like, a projector behind her, and it looks so cool. Look, this.
Okay, gun to my head, if
I saw this setup. This is so cool. It's like cyberpunk-esque, like you have a neon thing behind you and it's just going in the background. And I was like, this is so cool. I want to do something like this. I'm still thinking about potentially yoinking this idea somehow. I won't tell you yoinked it. I would make it a little bit I was thinking about putting a very big TV right there. Like right there in the corner, just putting a massive TV with very, very small bezels and covering up the bezels with like a little bit of paper or a little bit of paint. So you can't see that it's like a TV. It just blends into the wall. Because it would be in the background, it would be very slightly blurred, and it would just be like a magical floating screen. Then I thought about adding a digital screen. Just doing it on my PC so that it's not even there and it actually looks like semi-transparent, like cyberpunky, right? I was entertaining multiple ideas about this in the same way that I wanted, you know, the chat I have right here. If you type something in chat, if I do this, it pops up with like a slight 3D effect, right? I wanted to put a like virtual chat that just goes across my wall. These are ideas that I'm thinking about. And when I saw this, I was like, such a cool approach to doing this. Such a cool approach. But yeah, she makes all kinds of videos. I usually watch her stuff just because she talks about a lot of like super variety stuff that doesn't really like I don't think I'm really gonna get spoiled by anything. Good channel, big recommend, deserves way more subs. Way more subs. All right, moving on. Good Mythical Morning. Everyone knows Good Mythical Morning. We don't need to talk about Good Mythical Morning. Everyone knows Rhett and Link. Everyone knows them. I still watch them basically every single day. Mutahar. Everyone knows Mutahar. Some Ordinary Gamers. Talks about all kinds of weird shenanigans. Sometimes about the end of the world. Sometimes about Skype shutting down. Sometimes about tour stuff. Sometimes about 4chan. All kinds of things. Very good channel. The Yogscast. I occasionally still tune in. They make a lot of variety content nowadays, and most of their stuff really happens on Twitch. But the Yogscast are still goated. And Duncan. The old Duncan is doing the Jaffa Factory 2. So I am enjoying my nostalgia and watching Duncan's content. Every single time he uploads a new video of the Jaffa Factory, I watch Lewis, Simon, Harry, Barry, and Duncan get into all kinds of shenanigans. Do you watch at 2x speed? Yes. Ye old Goon Squad? Yes. Occasionally, I also tune into Sips' streams. Sips, the real guy, the best guy. He's streaming live right now, in fact. Planet Crafter DLC, he's right there. Right there. Just hanging out. All Sips. Big recommend. Game Ranks. Everyone knows Game Ranks. Not a lot to say about Game Ranks. Another big channel. Vati. Everyone knows about Vati. No one understands what's going on in Elden Ring, so we watch Vati videos. Of course. Vati the GOAT. So Breezy and Mr. GM. I used to watch way more than I do now. They are World of Warcraft creators, right? So they basically create everything about WoW. So Breezy talks about like big picture ideas and talking about like opinion pieces. Mr. GM is more so just like data mining and stuff like that. I used to watch them every single upload they made. Nowadays, not so much because I stopped playing WoW. I stopped at the start of War Within. I do still occasionally watch So Breezy's weekly show, the one he does. So that's that. Blaming on Yorhei, good channel, the very good channel, talks about weird internet stuff. Doesn't upload often, but when he does, it's a treat. Always talks about lost media, cool little facts, and also Nexpo is another one. Forgot to put Nexpo on here. Nexpo is another channel I watch all the time. Well, by all the time, I mean not so much because he doesn't upload often. Both of these channels are great for weird internet lore. Like, I think Petscop is like the best example of this. Petscop is just like a thing, like an interesting, scary thing that was made, and people just like really liked it. It's cool to talk about. What was this? I've seen videos from this person. I don't watch him regularly. And McJuggernuggets. McJuggernuggets, if you don't know, you should know. McJuggernuggets is up there with Freddy W for one of the pioneers of YouTube. So he made the Psycho series, which is, I think without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest like pseudo-reality, pseudo-fake YouTube series that anyone has ever done. This was an insane time to be on YouTube. A wild time to be on YouTube. We talked about this with like the Nico Avocado, or however you say his name. Nikocado Avocado, whatever. This is basically what he did for years. He lived a fake life online, and everything he did was fake. He wrote an entire narrative around a fake premise, fake everything. And he made a series out of it. And this spanned years. Every single upload for years was in character. Every single one. It keeps going. Keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Every single one was a part of the story until finally the finale that aired 8 years now. 8 years ago now. So he is largely retired, but he is working on a movie. So I will definitely check that out, because that's basically going to be like the first big professional thing I think he has really done. So that should be interesting. More goofs and gaffs. Tamago 2474. This guy is real cool. This guy's real cool. I can't wait for PlayStation's The Tester Season 3. Love this. But why? Basically, he always wanted to be a filmmaker, but he thought that his real life was way too boring, and that he saw the promise of the internet before most people did. So he just made a series on the internet, but his life was way too boring, so he just made a fake life. So he basically combined the dream of being a filmmaker and of having like a story worth telling, essentially. And that's how he was born. One of the true pioneers of YouTube, right alongside Freddy W. Freddy W did like all kinds of super CG, super cool stuff. He just made like a really human story. Two different sides. But yeah, this guy, love these videos. I discovered him, I'm pretty sure, with the Club Penguin videos. This was like 5 years ago or something. He had the goofiest Club Penguin videos of all time. This was like right here, the Club Penguin story. This is where I found this channel. It's the goofiest story I've ever heard in my life. This entire Club Penguin thing. It's a long time ago. Long time ago. He was just goofing on Club Penguin, basically. Now he does a bunch of stuff, including Schedule 1, the best game of 2025 right there. Moving on. Alt-Shift-X, Glidus, Quinn the GM. All of these people cover Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, and similar things, right? Like Alt-Shift-X covers Dune as well. Quinn the GM primarily just covers the books. All of these channels are great. If you care about Game of Thrones, if you care about A Song of Ice and Fire, these channels are goated. Watch them. Alt-Shift-X, Glidus, Quinn the GM. Big recommend. Clicks Philip. He has 3 channels. Let's just talk about the second one. This is where he does variety content on video games. I'm pretty sure his main channel is the biggest Counter-Strike channel in terms of like actual news and stuff. But this is purely Counter-Strike 2, right? Or CSGO or whatever. And his like first channel, this is like lifestyle stuff. Clicks Philip right there. So this is just talking about interesting things, interesting details, whatever. Another cool YouTuber, one of the OGs. Actman. We all know Actman. We've watched Actman's videos before. Another great channel talking about video games. Not much to add. We've watched all the Diablo 4 saga. All of that. That was fun. Noble. Noble covers World of Warcraft lore. Again, I've kind of fallen off the Warcraft train, but occasionally I still go back watch one of his videos about lore. I used to love this stuff. He has so many videos on WoW lore, it's actually insane. There's actually hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of WoW lore. I love this stuff, and he's been doing this for like a decade. Just keeps going back. Keeps going back. Love this. Big thumbs up. Let me know. We all know Lemino, right? Don't need to bring him up. We all know CoffeeZilla, talking about crypto scams, talking about financial scams. We all know him. Jack Spedicy, in parentheses, responsible for making me read 250 hours of Stormlight Archive. Yeah, Spedicy is now playing Schedule 1. I've been checking a few of his videos on Schedule 1 and he needs to get caught up. I think this is the last video I saw. I need to get caught up on these. But he's playing Schedule 1. Favorite series from Spedicy? Detroit Become Human. Absolute favorite series from Spedicy. I remember watching this. You have no idea how clearly I remember the day when I started watching him play through Detroit Become Human. I remember that day clear as a day. Yeah, Lemino is just like... Lemino is... He's a special specimen. If you look at how his... Lemino's channel is Power Creep, the channel. This is where he started. Look at how quickly his content evolved. This is just like top 10 rage comics. Suddenly they're cool looking thumbnails. Suddenly it's creepypastas. Suddenly it's top 10 all kinds of facts. It goes into facts, and then it just starts to slowly mold into these different topics until suddenly there's a lot more top 10 facts than I remember, I'm not gonna lie. Until he just started making focused videos. And then I think this video came out and it just kind of changed everything. And then it was just like, yeah, we're gonna make them better. 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 And now we get one video every 2 years. I use Lemino's music in every single one of the main channel videos. I love what Lemino does. The way his videos are crafted, it is an absolute labor of love. It's crazy that we have people like him. Still just making exactly what he wants to make, exactly how he wants to make it, at such a high quality. It's wild. Big thumbs up. We have PewDiePie. Everyone knows PewDiePie. He's now uploading a bit more. Again, he's also like semi-retired, but he still uploads, so he's on there. White Light. White Light is a very, very good channel. A very good channel. A lot of the approach I took to YouTube before I made the main channel. Michael Reeves, I didn't talk about him. Yes, I know about him. He's in the same gang as Niall. He's a part of that same circle, but I do know about Michael Reeves, yeah. White Light is one of the channels that kind of inspired me to really start making YouTube content. There is lore that you don't know behind Koroto's Mystery Shack, because there is a original channel that talked about video games. And the approach I took to talking about video games was very similar to what White Light does. The best video from White Light in recent memory is this.
It happened again, like so many...
He made another serious critique of Minecraft, and this video was absolutely eye-opening to me. There is even a comment from my main channel somewhere down here, because I watched this video and it changed my life. The way he talked about the loss of like that melancholy that Minecraft had was eye-opening to me, and I finally there I am. That's me 11 months ago. You actually put into words something I never could. Your entire point about the world losing that feeling of melancholy and almost surreal emptiness is exactly why I think I keep losing interest in modern versions myself. I think something like the entire Herobrine story could never happen nowadays because the world simply doesn't have that slightly eerie loneliness to it. Villages, traveling traders, monuments at every corner. It feels like I've been isekai'd into another playthrough instead of starting out in my own empty world. I watched this video and my eyes were opened. I have been watching Whitelight for years. Every single one of his videos is a treat. He does very, very good commentary about video games. Big thumbs up. Spiffing Brit. Everyone knows Spiffing Brit. No need to talk about Spiffing Brit. Super Eyepatch Wolf. Everyone knows Super Eyepatch Wolf. I put this video of the wrestling thing he did. I literally couldn't care less about wrestling. Okay? I couldn't care less. Like, I don't care. I have watched every single wrestling video that he has made. Every single one, because he just boils it down to the narrative. And oh boy, do I love a good narrative. Oh boy, do I love a good narrative. This 2 hour and 30-minute video, watch the whole thing. Absolute cinema. And I watched the last video before that. Every single wrestling video he has made, I have watched. And I don't care about wrestling. And is that not the ultimate showcase of making good content? Imagine watching something you don't even care about, but you still have fun. To me, that is the pinnacle of content creation. When people tell me I haven't even seen this show, but I watch your videos, I get the warm and fuzzies. Because I'm just like, damn, you don't even know what I'm talking about. I think that is the single greatest, like, praise you can get. You've actually made something interesting that people don't even know about or don't care about. His Fear and Hunger, the Fear and Hunger video was incredible, yeah. Every single one of his videos is great. This one right here was also really good. The influencer course is the dark side of content creation. This one was kind of, I'm pretty sure if you go through this comment section, I'm also somewhere here. I remember commenting on this video. I must be somewhere here. I'm not gonna look for myself now, but this is a very good video. A very, very good video. Because this one really deals with like the how it messes up your psyche, right? Like the numbers and everything. Because it does. It messes with your brain. Angry Joe has been on YouTube forever. I think everyone knows Angry Joe show, right? He's talking about games, he's talking about TV shows, everyone knows about him. History buffs, big recommend. Big recommend. If you don't know History Buffs, it mixes together talking about cool movies and talking about history. My favorite series from History Buffs is the Narcos series. 100%. I love the Narcos show, and he has covered the entire thing. Well, not the entire thing, but close to the entire thing. So, that was great. And usually I keep up with what he's doing. I haven't seen the Shogun video, because I haven't watched Shogun. But that we will fix that at some point. Other than that, his videos are great. Big recommend. Moving on. Carl Jobst. I've talked about Carl Jobst before. He's now in a little bit of controversy, in a little bit of spiciness. But he does speedrunning videos. He does speedrunner like debunked videos, great videos. Now he's stuck in a little bit of hot water. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. His content before that is great. You know, I'm side-eyeing you for that Shogun comment. I haven't gotten around to watching it. You know what I did start watching? I was told to watch Fruit Basket or Fruits Basket. So now I'm watching Fruits Basket. I was told to watch it. What about Nux Talk? Well, I haven't watched him, no. I know who he is, but I haven't watched him. I am a few episodes into Fruits Basket, and I'm watching it. I do what I'm told. I was told to watch it. I'm watching it. All right. Finally, we have get political. We'll talk about this. We have Frederick, whatever his name is. So this person is kind of similar to Lemino. Kind of similar to Lemino. He takes like a year in between uploads, and he does a frankly scary deep dive into things like the Eve Online video. This was your eyes are not playing tricks on you. The video is 5 hours and 55 minutes. This is not a podcast. This is not a podcast. This is not a goofy little video. This is an actual fully edited production that is 6 hours long, with extensive research, extensive like people who have talked about this. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. This is the story from Dwarf Fortress. If you don't know, boat murdered. This is a 1 hour video, not a 2 hour video, about Dwarf Fortress. This is the kind of videos that like I think if you had to rank your YouTube level, this is when you're close to maxing out your YouTube viewing level. When you find channels like this that are just like, they don't care about anything. They're just making the thing they want to make. This is the Deep Blue. This is about like AI, early AI stuff. This is also really, really interesting about like computers and stuff. Love this channel. Fruit Basket is a very legit choice. What's your opinion so far? I mean, right now it's very cutesy and there's not a lot going on, but I'm gonna watch it. It's not Attack on Titan, like no one's dying. It's very cutesy, but I'll watch it. I'll watch it. The Decade-Long Quest. I'm pretty sure I've heard of it, but I don't think I've watched it. I've heard of this video, I haven't watched it. Yeah, I haven't watched this. Fat Electrician. Haven't seen a single video from this person. Pirates? Gotta watch this. Oh, I know this person. I don't watch videos from them a lot of the time, but I have seen their uploads. I recognize the thumbnails. I know Jaden. I know Jaden, yeah. Jaden and Odd Ones Out. I know both of them, yeah. I haven't kept up with them nowadays though. It's more domestic trauma, but nobody's dying. Something like that. All right, moving on. It's time to get political. Let's talk about politics and geopolitics. Politics. Every single news channel I watch. So obviously these are just YouTubers. A lot of this stuff is not actually going to be news, right? Like if you want to actually learn news, you want to look at a lot of different sources, right? Like Reuters is a good one. The New York Times is a pretty good one. A lot of the Financial Times, all these are good ones. In terms of YouTube though, Philip DeFranco, one of the GOATs. One of the GOATs, watch him basically every single day. Well, whenever he uploads, right? This is like, obviously he doesn't cover this full spectrum of news. Nowhere near the full spectrum of news. But like in terms of just getting the headlines and getting an understanding of what's going on, pretty good. Big thumbs up. Next up, we have TLDR News, EU, and Global. They have multiple channels. They are basically doing what Philip DeFranco does, but they break up the topics into singular videos and then dive a bit deeper into the topics, right? This is not a fully technical breakdown, it's not, but in terms of getting a understanding of what's going on and where it's kind of headed, good channel, big recommend. They started relatively recently. They kind of came out of nowhere, but the way they're doing their videos, I think is very good. Don't really have a lot of complaints. Again, they have multiple channels. There's also a global channel. There might also be a US channel. I don't know, but here's a global channel, right? William Spaniel. This is a channel I discovered recently. This is like as it says right here, a professor who studies war and game theory. He talks about a lot of very, very uncomfortable things in terms of geopolitics. So basically, the way I would summarize how I think about politics is I don't like politics. I like geopolitics. I like the big picture stuff. All like the individual ins and outs, not that important to me. I really like looking at the super big picture stuff, and the way he talks about these things is very down to earth, right? Especially when talking about Europe's, like, the peace deals and everything like that. A lot of what he says is very uncomfortable because it's just boring. There isn't a heroic story about how everything will turn out good, right? Like, he doesn't do fairy tales. He just says there's going to be this, it's going to probably stop here, and then this is going to happen. There is no fairy tale. So that's what I like from him. Very down to earth, very, very cut and dry takes on this kind of stuff, right? Very good channel. We have Zayhan on geopolitics. This is another guy who I discovered recently. Watching his videos is kind of funny because he is just a guy walking around talking about geopolitics. Hearing his takes, hearing different perspectives on this kind of stuff, a lot of his takes are just natural, logical conclusions of an idea, right? He talks about all kinds of things, right? About like corruption, about what's going on with the Ukraine thing, about like the tariff situation, everything, right? Very big picture geopolitics stuff. Again, with very little focus on politics, which is what I want. Like this politics nonsense. Get it out of here. I just want to know what's going on. Legal Eagle. My favorite thing about Legal Eagle is watching him have a slow meltdown. I saw people making memes about this, about how like he was talking about like how there are no kings in America or something, and then like a little while later he was just like, I give up. So watching him make these videos is kind of rough. But I watch this stuff all the time as well, in terms of dealing with the legality of all this stuff. Again, a different perspective on just what's going on. This is not geopolitics. This is just legal stuff. You know, a different perspective on everything going on. This insider trading video was very good, by the way, because that's like stuff I actually really care about. Diabolical. We have Warfronts. Warfronts is a channel I also discovered relatively recently. This is another channel that kind of focuses on geopolitics, but they more so look at conflicts around the world, right? So this is again just understanding what's going on. So there is very little about what people think, about what it might be looking like, and actually about this is a resource, there might be skirmishes about this resource, yada yada yada. And they also talk about a lot of stuff that doesn't get any news coverage, right? Like there's a lot of conflicts like in the Africa regions and everything like that doesn't get any coverage, but like Europe and the United States is very involved. We just don't hear about it, but it's happening. It's very much happening. So it's good to know what's going on there. It's a channel, by the way, if you don't know, this is the same guy. It's the same guy. It's the same freaking guy. It's
a scheme.
It's him. It's him. It's Simon. It's Simon. It's Simon from Today I Found Out. It's Simon from Side Projects. It's Simon from Mega Projects. It's Simon from everywhere. This dude has like 17 channels. It's Simon. It's just Simon. There is the world, and then there is Simon. We live in his world. We just don't know it. How many channels does he have? I've got no idea. Oh, Mega Projects. This is one. Side Project, Into the Shadows, Today I Found Out, Brain Blaze, Casual Criminalist, Decoding the Unknown, Places, and Celestium.
This video is brought to you by...
That's Simon.
When it comes to doing things...
That's Simon.
On the morning of March 6th.
That's Simon.
America.
That's Simon.
Just don't view it as coffee.
That's Simon.
Today's episode is...
That's him.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to...
Hello. That's him right there. He did a video about Latvia, by the way. This one right here.
Latvia.
Recommend watching this video. This place is terrifying. This is the so-called Sturmaya, the corner house. This place is a nightmare place. Every single school like has a day trip over here. It's real scary. Real scary. Big recommend watching this video. I'll link it. I also left a comment on this video, because of course I did. Where am I? Right here. Latvia Pieminēta. Great video. I don't think many foreigners are aware of this place, despite it being right in the middle of the capital. I don't know how much it is. It has changed now a lot, right? But I've been there a few times on school trips and such. Horrifying place. It was basically untouched when we visited. Very true. There is like, they haven't done anything to it. It's literally like a 40-year-old building. Not even 40, like 30-year-old building that has been purposely left untouched so you could see the horrors of what actually happened, right? So people don't want to throw out words. We see what happened. Everything was dirty, rusty, and just nightmarish. That's me. Oh, and that's someone who knows me. That's someone who knows me. This place is a nightmare chamber. And there are people who are alive right now who can tell you stories of this place. Real bad time. Really, really, really bad time. This is Latvia lore. This is right here. Because there were like talks of like shutting this place down. But a lot of people rightfully said that like you can't shut this down. Like people need to see. People need to see to know. This is a situation where you need to know. So we don't start throwing around words and ideas that are not real. You gotta see. You gotta see what happened. Latvia was a part of the USSR. Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad time. 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 If you look into Latvia's history, at the start of World War II especially, oh boy. Let's just say Latvian people thought they were getting liberated. Didn't work out so well. Didn't work out so well. Little old poor Latvia has been through a lot. You gotta learn this stuff. You gotta learn this stuff. So that people know how bad it can actually get. For geopolitical adjacent content that's surprisingly relevant, what's going on with shipping? He covers... Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this. I've heard of this. We are having the problem of like a dude who is just spewing nonsense, basically doing populism. He is poised to win. So we are kind of having the same problem that's happening everywhere. We'll see what happens though. I've seen this guy's videos. I've seen this guy's videos because there was like talk of like the China port being super empty, right? I was looking at this. Same story in Czech and everywhere else. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to you know, like European history, a lot of people forget how bad it can get. Johnny Harris. I watched a few videos about Johnny Harris until he made a video about NATO. And then I realized, wait a minute, this guy, his research is a bit flimsy. Now, granted, he did take the video down, and he said that he's going to rework it. But a lot of the stuff he said in that video was, let's say, not exactly correct. Not exactly correct, and it was very much a very weird, like, Americanized perspective on it. Very, very weird to watch. I used to watch a lot of him, but, like, when one of the videos that I actually know a lot about came across my feed, I was kind of like, eh. Again, granted, he did take the video down, and he I don't know if he reworked it or not. I don't know. He might have. But he basically made a video about, like, the NATO expansionism, which is, like, it's a completely made-up thing. Never happened. People asked to join because of what we just talked about. Literally. And I was watching this video, I was like, what? What do you mean? It's crazy. It's crazy that he made a video like that. Next up, we have Jake Bro and Dennis, this guy, right? This guy is a Ukrainian pilot. This guy is a ex, like, US nuclear something. They make videos about Ukraine. I'm in the Baltics. I gotta know what's going on. Let's just leave it at that, okay? I gotta know what's going on. I gotta know what's going on. I really gotta know what's going on. Because as you know, there's like the little gap between the Baltics and then the thing. And we gotta know what's going on. We gotta know what's going on. I watch them daily. Now, their thumbnails are something special. But their videos are very good. They do daily updates about what's going on there. And real life lore, I feel like everyone knows real life lore. Real life lore does very good, like, like super big picture videos as well. And he talks just like I talked about with Warfronts. He makes a lot of videos about places that you don't really hear a lot about. So that's interesting. Very interesting to hear about what's going on. And he made, by the way, like a decently good video, basically debunking this the Harris video, right? Why NATO expanded? It expanded because people asked to join. Because it was a very bad situation. Very bad situation. Very bad situation. What languages do you speak? I speak Latvian and I speak English. I speak like this much French. Actually, this much French. And I speak this much Russian. And by this much, I mean nothing, basically nothing at all. I took like 1 year, no, 2 years of, no, 3 years of it. 3 years of it in school, I think. And I learned nothing. Literally nothing. But in terms of actual languages I speak is just Latvian and English. That's it. We have more. I forgot about this. Do you think in English or Latvian? Both. That's a big problem for me. When I'm trying to speak in clear Latvian, I can't. Like, our generation, there's like a whole thing of, it's called Anglomania, right? We have there are videos on this. You probably can't watch it in English, but there's like a show that did a very good investigation into this. The current generation, a lot of us grew up on the internet. And because Latvia is like 1.8 million people, and like Latvian speaking is probably even less than that, we have a actual very big existential threat of the language just disappearing, right? So they were investigating why young people are literally just using English over Latvian. Not even we know Latvian. It's like we replace Latvian with English. When I'm speaking to a lot of my Latvian friends, I'm basically speaking English. So, you know, you still speak Latvian to your parents? Yeah, my mom doesn't know English at all. So that's purely Latvian, yeah. There's like a generational divide there. Because most older people speak Russian as a second language. Every single person who is like below, probably like 30, English is the second language. There's like a very, very big generational split there. Just because of like history. You know, very simple reason. Ever since the internet started popping off, it's just like everyone kind of does English, and that's fine. We gotta wrap this up. In terms of streams, we have the entire, obviously, Cyclothon gang with Connor again. Pete, Premier 2, right here. What is he up to? Is he streaming? He's not streaming. I think it's like 7 a.m. in Japan. Pete, Premier 2, is the greatest hype man that has ever existed. This guy... We haven't seen a hype man like him. He is just... I don't know how he has the energy, but he is always there. The GOAT. We have Preach Gaming. So he was once upon a time, he was a World of Warcraft creator. Like exclusively World of Warcraft. Now he talks about a lot of stuff. But if you like don't care about any of this stuff, genuinely a very fun little series that he does is called Drama Time. A lot of the stories in here will have to do with World of Warcraft, but a lot of them are just about the gaming things that happen in gaming, right? So like the most common things is like people steal loot, right? A whole controversy happens between them. There's like a whole falling out in the guild, a bunch of drama. Then there's a lot of people who feel like they've met the love of their life over the internet and they move across the country. Turns out very, very bad, right? There's stories like that just happen from games. And he does this every single week. He's been doing this for years. This is like a new channel, but he's been doing this for years. Preach Gaming. Big thumbs up. It depends on the topic of discussion. I can't speak politics and pop culture with my parents in my native language because I learn about that stuff in English, but daily conversation is fine. I just don't have the vocab. Same. So I had a bit of a problem. If I was going to work professionally, like if I was going to go like into the finance field, right, and work in Latvia, I realized I'm in a bit of a pickle because a lot of technical terms, I don't think they even exist in Latvian. I'm pretty sure most people just communicate in English. And I was like, if I'm ever gonna have to like explain anything, how am I gonna do this? Because even like what's it called? Like calculus stuff. Right? I did a little bit of calculus at the end of high school. That was like a special thing I did. So I had a little bit of calculus in high school as well. but most calculus happens in university. So there was like a little bit of experience from both there, but still, like, learning about all the calculus terms and trying to apply them in Latvian is kind of crazy. Yeah, Preach nowadays is just doing like variety gaming. He moved away from WoW with, must have been like Shadowlands, right? And he's just doing variety content now. He streams on YouTube and Twitch all the time. I don't think he uploads that often anymore. He had like a whole Final Fantasy 14 phase. He makes a lot of stuff now. Next up, we have the Nutty Dude. The Nutty Dude. He might be streaming right now. He's not streaming right now. This guy is responsible for most of the stuff you see on screen right now. He makes videos about Twitch things. Now, I don't know how interesting that is for people who don't make like a Twitch stream or whatever, but his content is tinkering with cool things on Twitch, making cool things on Twitch, and everything like that. So most of the stuff that I've learned about doing Twitch is from him. Simple as. The chat right there, the chat in the corner of the screen there, is made by him. This chat right here is a mixture of what he has done. The one that pops up here is a mixture of what he has done and what I've done. A lot of this stuff is straight from him. A lot of the stuff that I learned is straight from Nutty. The Nutty Dude. So, big thumbs up there. Tungsten Rat, of course. The Tungsten Rat. Also known as the whatchamacallit, Cinnamon Rolls, also known as Iron Mouse. So I learned about her through Connor's content, but this is like years ago. So occasionally when she's doing stuff, I tune in. She's streaming all the time. Queso, same thing. I learned about Queso through memes, but Queso is just the GOAT. Every single time I see a clip from him, I know I'm in it. I know I'm gonna have a good time, basically. I was gonna do this. Hold on. Reminds me of something. The cyclothon with Connor and Mouse just singing while sitting in like in the thing. One of the all-time Twitch moments. One of the all-time Twitch moments. Where's the thing I was talking about? Look at this. Queso accidentally started streaming using his webcam mic. It's just a random day with Queso.
Return once more. What? I'm on the webcam mic. Wait, what's this sound like? I'm on the webcam. Yeah, that's kind of clean.
Ow! Enough of that. Enough of that. So I tweeted out that I'm just gonna start a stream. I'm gonna blacklist the word mic so no one can tell me about it. I'll just do a whole stream like this. What is this mic? A KFC bucket? Look, why you gotta do Queso like that? Why you gotta do Queso like that? But yeah, whenever I see clips from Queso, I know it's gonna be something good. Queso is absolute GOAT. He kind of came out of nowhere for me. I just started seeing a lot of clips of him, and it turns out he had been making content for a while. I think he like popped off on like TikTok or something initially. I didn't know about that. I didn't. And finally, another relatively new content creator, Blue Nami or Nami, I don't know. She's live right now. She's making a VTuber model. I found her stream when she was playing Elden Ring in the most cursed way. She was doing a build. He probably doesn't go back that far. This was like six something months ago. She was doing an Elden Ring playthrough, only doing parries with a dagger. And you know when you're watching someone play like a Dark Souls game or Elden Ring or whatever, which by the way, this is true. One of my friends is playing Dark Souls, and I'm just sitting there in Discord watching him play Dark Souls. It is glorious. So I saw this happening, and she was trying to kill the same boss for like 45 minutes. I just had to see how it goes, so I hung around. But yeah, she streams regularly. She's also European, so you know, international audience represent. Not a lot of us there, not a lot of us out there. Another European creator. Big thumbs up, big thumbs up. For streams, that's basically it. I used to watch a lot more live streams, but frankly, I don't have the time to watch streams. Like, look, I'm not joking when I say I watch these people. If you think about how much time I spend on YouTube, you will probably realize I don't do a lot of other things in my life, you know? So, Not a lot of time left for streams. Development streams with Neurosama and Vidal. I've seen so much about the whole... I knew nothing about this whole Neurosama thing and the whole development behind it. I only recently learned about all this stuff. It was fascinating to learn about. Absolutely fascinating. This is like one of those good applications of AI, because this is like, it's mixing human creativity with something that is like virtual, you know? Big thumbs up. Finally, we have a few podcasts that I'm listening to. I have stopped listening to a lot of podcasts because now I'm going through a lot of books. I started listening to Dungeon Diver Carl, or Dungeon Crawler Carl. Is Dungeon Crawler. I'm on the first book right now. I'm going through that. I just finished Stormlight Archive, which was, again, thanks to Spedicy, 250 hours. Not even a joke. 250 hours of that. I'm caught up on the SAO light novels. I'm caught up on everything now. I started Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm super early in it. It's fun so far. But in terms of podcasts, I listen to No Buffs. No Buffs talks about Survivor. I still watch Survivor every single Thursday. Have been doing it for years. No Buffs on YouTube. Wait, do they? It's just a voice podcast, I guess, on YouTube. I listen to them on Spotify. But they do a Survivor podcast every week. I think they're a nice group of guys, interesting to listen to. Big thumbs up. Darknet Diaries. Darknet Diaries is probably my all-time favorite podcast. I think he is uploading most of the episodes on YouTube now as well. Maybe he has a feed. I'm pretty sure this is the full feed. This must be the full feed, because 159 episodes, that sounds like a lot. He makes videos. The Darknet Diaries sounds like he's just talking about the Darknet. Not really. It's just about like super interesting, like OPSEC, super high security hacker stuff. You know, this is where I learned about things called penetration testers, right? And I genuinely find this stuff fascinating. There are people who genuinely just try to break into your building, and they get paid for this. Their job is just to break into a building by whatever means necessary. That is so interesting to me. And listening to their stories, it kind of opened my eyes to how fragile a lot of these security systems are. Because a lot of like public facing companies, like a small bank, for example, right? Like a small branch of a bank. If you walk in there with a fake little thing hanging around your neck and just play confident, no one's gonna bat an eye at you. You'll be just able to walk all the way through. And this is what they talk about. Just like actually looking at these security loopholes and basically just making sure that companies are safe. Because, I mean, if someone nice doesn't do it, someone bad's gonna do it. And you don't want someone bad walking into your company. But yeah, he talks about all kinds of things. Very, very interesting podcast. Very well researched. Has a lot of people on. Love it. He used to upload a lot more regularly. Nowadays, I think it's like every first Tuesday of the month. So there's like a longer gap in between, but the episodes are great. The Triforce podcast. So this is Yogscast basically, right? This is Lewis, Purian, and Sips. This is your favorite three dads talking on the internet every single week. I have been I've been listening to these guys ever since the first episode. I mean, I listened to the Yog Pod like 15 years ago, so it's probably not surprising. But this is three dads. Lewis is not a dad. He's not a dad, but he is a dad. So three favorite dads talking about all... You already saw a random toilet. Where was it? They just talk about the most cursed things. There was the Bodega Saga. This is 8 years ago. Jesus Christ. Very old. I've been listening to this for years. And this was originally the Yogpod channel, right? So these are the Yogpod days. I was listening to all of this as well. Lewis and Simon. Back in the day. These are not even the first ones, are they? Because this is just 9 years ago. It was way more than 9 years ago. But yeah, been listening to them for a long time. And finally, Safety Third, who I haven't caught up on. That's it. That is everything I watch on YouTube, Twitch, and podcasts. Only took me an hour and 30 minutes to get through. I think if I were to rank my YouTube level, I think I'm a pretty high level YouTube consumer. I think I watch a lot of YouTube. So whenever I, because I've talked about this before, I am much more of a YouTube viewer than I am a creator. I've said this many times before, and I'm not joking. Like, making YouTube videos is my job now, right? I do this full time. But man, do I love YouTube. I love YouTube. No comedy? I mean, a lot of these people mix in comedy in their content, right? Like, how could you look at a frame of Connor that looks like this and not think this is comedy gold? Or Sad Garnch. Or the very round Chris Broad. The very round Chris Broad. But in terms of, like, actually comedy dedicated channels, no. Every Frame of Painting or Cinefix. I used to watch a lot of them. A lot of them. But now that I'm doing, like, so much actual, like, analysis content myself, I don't really watch a lot of this stuff anymore. Because I used to watch, like, all, like, the 107 facts about this, that, yada, 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 breaking down this shot from Breaking Bad, yada, yada. I used to watch all this stuff, just because I liked it myself. But now I talk about it myself. So, I might as well just talk about it myself. Kurzgesagt is another one, yeah. Kurzgesagt. Everyone knows Kurzgesagt, so... Just made a video 3 hours ago. What if it rains bananas for a day? Wouldn't we all die of, like, radiation poisoning? Because like, one banana, like, one microsievert? Something like that, right? It's a joke. It's a joke, relax. I don't think we would die of radiation poisoning from bananas. At least I don't think so. This video is pretty good. People were kind of salty about the title of the video, because it is kind of, like, very provocative, but the video is good. Because, like, the population collapse is, like, a big thing that I feel like people are not really thinking about right now. Carbots anime. Is Carbots still doing videos? I think the last videos I saw from Carbots were all the Elden Ring ones. I haven't seen a lot of these. Yeah, I haven't even seen these. I didn't know there were more parts to the Elden Ring saga. It's been a while since I watched anything from Carbots. But there it is. An hour of 30 minutes of pure yapping. Pure yapping.